All right, we are back. I am Daniel Griggs with the ATX, the brand, and today we're going to be talking about competition. And this is what I want you to understand when I say competition. Before you start to compete and try to copy what your competitor is doing, you have got to assess your problem, your situation at your company, not your industry. Now, I've kind of touched on this before and talked about it a little bit. The first point that I'm going to talk about is what I just mentioned. Your competition has different objectives. They have different goals. They have different things that they're actually aiming toward. So their problems are completely different than yours. Now, here's what I mean. You're a company, when I'm talking about assessing your problem, your situation, not your industry, it means that your competitor, company John Doe, is doing well in your eyes, or maybe you know someone and they're doing well, rather it be revenue-based, etc. Now, here's the deal. Even if they are, you don't want to just hop on digitally and do exactly what they're doing, right? Company X is doing Facebook ads all the time, YouTube ads all the time, this or that. That may work for them or it may not work for them. You don't know their specific ROI unless you have an inside connection like that, which is crazy. But anyways, look, you don't know exactly what their ROI is, even if they are putting 100K a month into Facebook ads, right? Maybe they're negative when it comes back to actually getting anything back from that. So you want to assess your problem, your situation, and these things can vary from situation to situation, meaning it could be based on sales. It could be based on, hey, we need to do more marketing. One thing that we get in a lot is a lot of companies, we work with a lot of corporate companies, and the situation is our website and our digital presence has looked like this for the past 5, 7, 10 years. So for us, we need to actually create a brand. We're doing great, we do well with clients and customers, but we now want the owner to be looked at as an expert in his or her field. Or we do great with these type of clients or these type of customers, but we want more of these. So there's always these different problems and situations that you have internally or your competition has internally, but it's not going to be the exact same thing for you. So that's the first thing that you want to do. Assess your problem, assess your situation, and understand that your objectives are completely different than the objectives of your competitors. Now, as you're going through this, sometimes your competitors may have the exact same objectives. Say, for instance, there's a slow season or a busy season. So typically in your industry, everyone kind of like revs up their marketing or their advertisement to get in more customers and clients, right? Our headquarters is in Austin, Texas. There's always people moving in to the city. I forget how many people it is every single month that come in, but regardless if it speeds up more or if it maintains, it's still a lot of people. So if you're a moving company and you're trying to get a lot of clients from moving, there's a lot of moving companies. It's a ton of different companies out here that can do the same thing. And a lot of them are doing pay-per-click. Some are doing Facebook ads, but predominantly pay-per-click is one of the main things that they get a lot of their leads from and referrals, things like that. Now, here's just something that I would advise to do. This isn't just a moving company. I threw that out of my mind for an example. If you're any type of service-based company, you can clean pools, do roofs, etc. You want to do branding ahead of time. Now, I say this just about every single show. Branding is not marketing. Branding is not advertisement. Branding is the perception, and it's something that sticks in people's mind, and you have to continuously do it for it to stick. So when that time comes around, when they think about that moment or that situation or the circumstance, they think of your company. Say, for instance, you're a roofing company. Now, roofers are waiting for a hurricane or a tornado to come by and tear people's roofs up. It's just the nature of the business. It's something that has to happen. We can't control Mother Nature like that. So instead of waiting around for that exact moment to come, to start waiting for the phones to start blowing up, which I know that they do, you want to start doing things in advance to get your branding out. There's a company that I see in Austin, Kangaroo Roofing or something like that. I see their billboards often. You see them before? Yeah. I see their billboards often. I have no intention right now on my home to have anything done with my roof. But if I do, outside of what my wife may mention to to reference whatever company, I'm going to think of Kangaroo Roofing. And the reason being is because they have been doing branding ahead of time, months before, maybe even a year before I even need it. Now, I don't know their business. I don't even know anyone at the business. I'm just naming out the things that I see around the Austin area when I'm traveling and that I see or that I see online. So this is a process of branding so that later on, not at that moment, because it is a long-term game, you have to be patient. Later on, when I'm in that circumstance or that situation, immediately I'm gonna be like, oh, I see this company all the time on a billboard. I see this car company or hear this car company all the time on the radio. So that branding part is huge, but this is going back to my point. You put this branding in place for your company, not for competition. Maybe you don't even have these problems in regards to sales or leads or anything like that. Maybe your issue is that we need better quality staff, or we want to hire on more open-minded millennial staff or something like that. So you have to structure the branding that you do based on what's going to attract them. Now, this show isn't necessarily about how to do that. It's really more about assessing your situation and problem, but I want to throw out these different scenarios that we experience and get a lot for companies and brands that we work with. So internal sales, you may need a brand overhaul because it's been so old, recruitment, your website is outdated, etc. But the whole point is that you want to bring someone in to assess the problem. You want your staff to assess the problem. You look at competition, nothing's wrong with that. You always want to look at competition, want to see who's out there. But when you're going through branding or you're trying to assess your problem from a digital standpoint for your company, you want to assess your problems and then see how you can solve those problems from a digital standpoint. As we tell leads that we get all the time or anyone that we speak with, they may say, hey, it's a university, and well, do you have any clients that are higher education? Well, yeah, we have a higher education client, but what's your problem? Like, what's your situation? What's going on with your university? What's going on with your college, your school? So that we can assess that. Because we have another client that's in higher education, but their website, the purpose of their website, should I say, wasn't based on the exact same needs that you have. So we want to assess your problem, your situation. So going back to it, this is a short show today. If you are going through a brand overhaul or looking to do branding, one of the main things that you want to do is assess your problems, your situations internally. How can these things be handled? How can they be solved from a digital standpoint? And then you solve them, you solve that problem digitally based on the issues that you have internally. Don't go looking at competition and duplicating what they're doing just because you say, hey, this is what we have to do. That can be a recipe for disaster, and we've definitely seen it. Thanks a lot for tuning in. This is a short show today. Check out our other episodes that you'll see here if you're on our YouTube, wherever else you may be. We look forward to chatting with you soon and chat with you again next week.